Jack, I have had enough of you fooling around out here. Stop trying to act like it's a good thing to be single at your age and find a woman you can actually stay married to. And once you find that woman, you make her bring me a grandbaby. If you could just try a little harder to find someone, you could become a very good husband and father, right? All you are right now is a complete embarrassment to me.
I think asking Jasmine to bring you that grandbaby would be a lot more effective, Mom. And those two already took fertility tests and the results came back saying that they are both good to go.
I understand that, but that has nothing to do with you. What I'm trying to tell you right now is that it's embarrassing to have my oldest son grow up single and with no kids.
But Mom, I already told you I don't plan on getting married anymore.
Huh? You're going on about that again? Then what's going to happen to me getting my grandbaby?
And that's why I said, you won't be getting a grandbaby from me, okay? I've been to the doctor about it already and they said it's better for me to just look past wanting kids based on the very low chance I have of getting someone pregnant. I even tried bringing up adoption as an option, but you budged in, saying that it was the wife's fault for not bringing in any kids. And you still wonder why she left me after all that crap you gave her. For something that's not anyone's fault but my own. Why is it so hard for you to accept the truth, Mom? You literally do anything but accept the truth, and that includes hurting those who aren't even at fault. If I had to give you a reason why I'm not married now and never will be again, I'd say it has to do with you always getting in the way.
You're going on about that again as well?
If you don't want to hear about it again, then stop making me bring it up. The fact that you always come to me about not having any kids and not having anyone to love is why I always go back and bring up the reasons why. It's driving me nuts.
Well, listen, Jack. You don't have to cover for that ex of yours being infertile anymore, because you've already divorced her and she means nothing to us anymore, right?
Jesus Christ, Mom. I'm not lying about it to protect her. I'm being serious when I say that I'm the one that's infertile. I even showed you the test results from the clinic, right?
Well, anyway, I'm not going to allow you to stay single. The only way you're going to continue staying a man in my family is by getting yourself another wife and making some kids with her. That's what all men need to do, and you're no exception.
Please stop with all this, Mom. At this point, you continue to go in circles about this. It's just wasting everyone's time.
Jack!
I have an early morning tomorrow, so good night.
I've had enough sitting here waiting. You must be planning to surprise me with something, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that penthouse you have. You must have bought that recently, right?
Huh?
When I went into your apartment earlier, I saw the papers on that place lying on your computer.
You've gone and created yet another duplicate key to my place without my permission? Are you still not able to get it into your head that it's because of crap like you that you've caused my last relationship to flounder and forced me to divorce my wife? I can't believe you right now, Mom.
Well, you're my son, and I think I have the right to have access to your apartment. So when are you going to be able to introduce me to that new wife of yours?
Seriously?
The penthouse I saw in those papers lying in your apartment showed that it has 3 bedrooms and a very spacious kitchen, so there must be a good reason for you buying it, right? What kind of woman is the girl you're with right now? Is she the kind of woman that can actually get pregnant and birth some children?
It was after you bought that penthouse that you made my relationship with my ex-wife impossible and I had to divorce her.
Huh?
It's been over a year now since I bought that penthouse. After the divorce, I've been dealing with a lot of personal things, and I still have work and that to deal with as well, so I haven't had time to move into the place or anything yet.
Huh? What the? Can you stop trying to upset me right now? But if that's really the case with you, that penthouse doesn't belong to someone who's single and has no plan to have a family, right?
Huh?
Well, listen, your sister has gotten pregnant.
Oh, is that so? Tomorrow I'll send her a text telling her congrats.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I want you to give that penthouse to your sister and her husband.
What?
Right now, your sister is living in a small apartment with her husband that only has 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom in it. Right now, the place is decent for those two, but the moment they have their first baby, they're going to need more space to work with. You can understand that, right?
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Then please give that place to your sister.
Stop being ridiculous, Mom. I'm planning to move into that place real soon, and starting this week I plan to get my things packed up and ready to go.
Having a place as big as that all to yourself is far too greedy.
Why is that greedy? Also, this place wasn't even gonna be mine in the first place after the divorce, but I was able to get it after much talk with my ex about how much I planned on using it. You have no right telling me to give it away after you almost made me lose it once already.
You are far too old now to be saying such selfish garbage.
How am I being selfish right now?
Are we finished here, Jack? I'm tired of having to fight you all the time on stuff like this. That place is too big for you and would be perfect for your sister, her husband, and her soon-to-be-born baby. And me. Having a place that open for the four of us to live in would be perfect.
Hold on a minute. It seems to me like the conditions have changed, and you just made it look as though you plan to live with them in the penthouse.
And what's wrong with me wanting that?
Have you ever even spoken with either of them yet about your plan?
There's no reason for me to talk with them about it now.
Well, if they need a house that's bigger than the apartment they're in, then the normal thing to do would be to move into a bigger place, or have a new place built for their needs, right? And I believe that both of us have heard already from her husband that he plans on having a place of his own built for the family, instead of moving into an already built home, right? Even if I did want to give them my penthouse, they probably don't need it.
I've had enough of this talk. Just give them the dang penthouse. If you continue to keep saying no to what your own mother is asking you, then I'll have to disown you.
Really?
But if you give them that place, then we can all go on with our lives again as normal. You don't want me cutting ties to you, right?
Actually, I don't care if you do or don't.
Right? You know just as well as I do that we don't want that.
Huh? Wait, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. You can stop trying to talk your way out of all this now. I am looking forward to moving into that place and having so much room to work with while raising my grandbaby.
That's not what I meant.
Well, since that's what's going to happen soon, I need to start preparing my things as well to move into that place.
Go and do what you'd like, Mom. But don't come back to me when things aren't what they seemed.
Jack! Why are you living in this penthouse right now? You were supposed to have given your sister this place so that her family and I could live here without you.
How do you know about me moving out of my old apartment?
I went to your previous apartment to come see it, and the man living next door to your place told me that you moved out. And when he said that to me, I went right to the building that the penthouse is located in, and I can see that you're in there right now. But when I ran after you as you opened the door, you slammed it in my face before I could come inside.
Well, luckily there's a really fast auto lock on the door that kicked in right before you turned the handle. And if you don't have the key to that lock, you can't get in.
Well, then hand that key over to me right now, Jack. I went to your apartment today looking for that key after all, so now that I've had to run all the way here after you moved in without letting me know, I'm getting that key.
So you went into that apartment again without my permission, huh? Thank God I moved out of there before you started to have one of these fits again.
You don't have any plans to get married again, right?
That's right. All I'm thinking about now is living as a bachelor for the rest of my life.
Then hurry up and get the hell out of there. That penthouse is far too good for some half-cooked man like you who doesn't plan to have a wife or kids.
Well, I'm planning on making this place into my office and this studio as well.
Huh? Making it into an office?
For a long time now, I've been doing this sort of work as a sort of side hustle, and now I'm thinking of focusing on it full time. And as of right now, I've been working with a friend of mine on merging our businesses and making a larger company.
And so what? That sort of stuff has nothing to do with that penthouse.
Well, that friend that I'm working with had plans to get married next year, and then move into a place close to his penthouse. But right now his partner is overseas for work, and he's all alone over here. So the plan is to have him stay in this penthouse with me for the next year until his woman returns and they get married.
What the heck? Why did you make all of those plans without me?
Because this is my penthouse, and since it's mine, I can do what I want with it.
But I told you that if you don't want to be disowned, you have to give that place over to your sister so that her family can move into there. You can look back in our texts and see exactly what I told you. I said for you to give the penthouse to her, and that you don't want me cutting ties with you, right? And you replied by saying you don't care if I do or don't.
Yeah, and that meant that I don't care what you do about your relationship with me. In other words, go ahead and disown me.
Huh?
You can go back into our messages and see what I told you. You're mistaking what I said, and that it wasn't what you thought it meant, right?
What? You're kidding, right?
I wanted to make things more clear for you, but you wouldn't stop talking, and told me to stop talking about it anytime I try to speak, so I gave up on it. And honestly, I'm totally okay with you cutting your ties to me, and that's why I stopped caring about you having a misunderstanding about what I said.
What the heck? Then what should I do now?
Go back to your own house and stay quiet from now on?
But I already moved ahead and sold my place.
Is that right?
What the hell is up with you acting like that's got nothing to do with you?
Well, you're cutting ties to me now, right?
No, I don't think so.
Are we done here? I have some things that I need to get back to, and I can see that you have nothing left to say to me that I care to hear. Bye.
Wait a second. What the heck am I going to do? Jack? Hey.
What do you want? What could you possibly want with me now?
Hey, do you know where your sister ran off to?
Huh? Why are you asking me where she's gone? All I know about her is that her husband and her moved back closer to his hometown because there would he be closer to his job.
Huh? They moved even further away. That town is almost 4 hours away from here.
Before those two even got married, they were talking about how before they even had a kid, they'd move back into his hometown where he'd be closer to his job and be in a better place to raise the kids. The only reason why he was working around here for a little while in the first place is because the company he works for is owned by his dad, and he was asked to start helping with the starting of a new office in town. But they agreed that once his wife became pregnant, he could go back to his old office closer to his hometown and have his kid there.
What?
And it's getting pretty close to the due date for that baby, so they decided to move back to his hometown before she had the baby and is all tired out.
Well, why did I never hear anything about this from them?
It's because you're a reckless woman, so we all decided to keep their move a secret from you so you couldn't do anything crazy to them.
Huh? I'm reckless?
You made a huge deal about having me give up on my penthouse and handing it over to my sister so that her and her husband could have their baby there and you could live there with them as well. They also knew about how I bought this place before my divorce and that you were the reason my wife ended up leaving me. And if all that wasn't enough, you were causing a crap ton of stress for her by always trying to control everything she planned to do with the baby, as though it was gonna be your baby somehow. Well, anyway, there's a whole bunch of reasons that began to pile up, and that's why they both chose to move out of town without telling you.
What the heck? Does she not want me around to help her in raising her baby when it's born? Did she forget who raised her to become the perfect woman she is now?
And as far as we're concerned, it was Dad that raised the both of us into the people we are now.
Huh?
Dad was the one making the money in the house for all of us to live on, and he was also the one that did the most cooking and cleaning in the house. You were a housewife, but you ended up slacking off quite a lot.
Wait a second.
Also, it's been 2 years now since you left the house to live on your own away from Dad because you didn't want him to listen to you asking all the time to do the chores, right? Well, he's told me that he plans to divorce you now since you're never going back to him.
But if he leaves me, how am I going to make any money?
No, I'm not, because you told me you'd disown me and cut ties with me.
But you are my son, so you should be able to do something about this, please.
I think we're pretty much done here, right? I'm a very busy man now, and I got things I gotta get back to. Can you make sure to never talk to me again?
Jack!
Now I'm gonna get back to work. Goodbye forever. After her and I had our final conversation, my mom came running back to my penthouse door and continued to hang around it for hours and hours. But after a while of hearing her constant knocking around my penthouse door and the building itself, others in the building began to become suspicious of her and called the police on her. They came just at the time I wasn't around, so she couldn't get me to come and help her, meaning the police put her in their car and drove her to the nearest station. After she was let out of the police station the following day, she proceeded to start heading back to the building my penthouse was in, only to be stopped by my dad, who told her that he heard about everything and would be sending her to my older brother's business outside the state. There she would work for him and make some money to support herself, while also being too far away to do anything about me and the rest of my family. Her brother operates a logging business, so the location she'll be working at is far in the mountains and forests, where it takes almost a day to get to by buggy or truck. So because of her being so remote, I can feel a sense of relief knowing she'll never make it back here again. And of course, this meant that Dad was able to divorce her as well. I hope that now she's lost pretty much everything in her immediate family, and she'll begin to make a new family out there in the middle of nowhere cutting wood all day with all those other loggers. And I'm sure that unlike us, those loggers won't even let her get away with a second of that reckless attitude she had with us.
Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for coming today. Ken told me all about you previously, but once I met you in person, I was shocked that you were such a delightful woman. I had no idea. To think that such a wonderful woman is going to marry my son, it's like a dream come true. I'm very happy for you two. You two make such a splendid couple. I'm absolutely sure my late husband is smiling down on the two of you from heaven. I wish you and Ken the happiest life going forward. And please don't hesitate to stop in for a visit again anytime you like. Thank you very much, but can I say just one thing? I would prefer that this be the last time we meet. Excuse me? I have no intention of visiting your home during Christmas or Thanksgiving. I'll have Ken go over there when it's absolutely necessary. Let's not associate with each other, if that's okay with you. I would much rather prefer that. I'm sorry, but are you serious? Can I ask why? I'm sorry, did I do something that may have offended you in any way? No, nothing like that. I married Ken, is all. It's not if I married the whole family. I just don't want all the baggage. We have no blood relations, which makes us total strangers. All I ask is that we keep it separate. I don't need the hassle of all this family relationships and so forth. It gets a bit stressful, don't you think? So let's keep all future interactions to a minimum. I'm going to shut off my line unless it's absolutely necessary. So, if you need something, please go through Ken, would you, please? But just because Ken is your oldest son, please don't rely on him too much. I will invite you to the wedding, but I must warn you right now, don't make yourself heard too much. This is our wedding, after all. You do understand, right? Yes, of course. That's what she told me. I was pretty shocked, as you can imagine. Did I do something to offend her, maybe? Was Susan angry at me for something?
Oh yeah, right, about that. I forgot all about that. No, she's not angry or anything. She's just being a little overly cautious, that's all.
Overly cautious? Really? You mean she's self-conscious or something?
No, nothing like that. It's just that her dad's grandma and her mom didn't really get along very well. Apparently she witnessed a feud between those two all while growing up. As far as I know, she and her mom have no contact with her grandmother anymore. So you can imagine her negative attitude toward family relationships such as with you and Susan. It's not about you, Mom. Nothing to do with her liking or disliking you.
I see. So that's what this is all about. No wonder she seems so hostile. I have no antagonistic feelings toward her in the least. I suppose it's a form of trauma, huh?
Exactly. I suppose you can say that. After she settles into married life for a while and gets used to being around you, she'll probably relax her guard and everything will be normal, I hope. It's not a problem for you, is it? You got Caroline and her husband, not to mention your grandkids just living down the street. If there's a problem, just call Caroline, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Caroline and the kids keep me pretty busy. I don't have a problem with that, but it just seems kind of unsociable. After all, we are family. She seems like a nice person. I just thought we could have closer ties.
Yeah, well, she's that way, so what can I say? She'll come around eventually. Our families are not exactly alike. She had a tough time growing up. On the other hand, we had a pretty normal life, I suppose. Just as long as you can sit there at the wedding and not make any unnecessary comments, she'll be okay.
Yeah, well, under the circumstances, I suppose I can manage. All I want is for you guys to be happy, that's all. I don't want to disrupt it in any way. I hope she understands that. And I hope she comes around after you guys settled in.
Yeah, I suppose we just have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks for today. I'll contact you again once we get the wedding schedule all figured out.
Mother? What the hell was that all about? Are you out of your mind or something? Oh, hello, Susan. It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, and congratulations. I was elated to hear from Ken that you gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, and you just came back from the hospital. So glad that it all went well. I really cannot believe you, Mother. You act as though you're so concerned. I can see right through you. How could you send such a thing? Excuse me? Acting concerned? I'm not acting. I am concerned. And what are you talking about, this thing? I'm talking about the baby clothes and the envelope of money. That thing. What the hell were you thinking sending me such a thing? Susan, I really don't know what you mean. I just thought it was an appropriate gift. Just something to congratulate you on giving birth. That's all. I really wasn't sure what to get, so I figured a monetary gift and some baby clothes. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure of your taste, but I picked out something that was pretty basic. Did you not like it? You finally revealed yourself, haven't you? Sending such cheap clothes and money, trying to worm your way in and see your grandson? Pretty sneaky. This baby is our son, not yours. And I bet when you heard it was a boy, you wanted him for yourself. Well, that's not going to happen. I know what you're going to say next. Someone to take over the family, or some crap like that. Am I right? Pardon me? That was certainly not my intention. I didn't think you would use such underhanded tactics. I almost got comfortable because you've been so quiet for the past 3 years. Boy, was I wrong. Did you really think I would be duped into your little scheme with these cheap baby clothes? That's what I was worried about. An obsessive mother. I assure you, that was never my intention. It was just a simple gift for your baby. I didn't want it to be too extravagant. Thought you would take it wrong. As a matter of fact, I just found out it was a boy. I don't want to hear any of your rationalizations. He's not your grandson. Can't you get that through your head? He's not going to be taking over that family or anything like that. Just so you know. Just because you brought Ken up as a single mother does not mean our child will take over your family. Not much of a family to take over anyways. Susan, I have never thought that at all. I couldn't even imagine thinking such a thing. You got me all wrong, Susan. I can't understand why you would think that of me. Playing the victim now, huh? I can read you like a book. You send a gift and money. That only means you want something from me. You wouldn't do this for free. I know the little game you're playing. Curry favor with us, and when you grow old and can't walk anymore, you want us to look after you. That's it, isn't it? I'm not going to fall for your little trick. Don't you dare think you can put one over on me. As for those baby clothes, I dumped them in the garbage. My parents are going to buy me whatever I want. Better quality clothes. Pardon me, are you serious? How could you? I would prefer that you not meddle in our lives. No matter how you try to pander us, we will never have any family interaction with you. Keep that in mind. And I will tell you this right now, I have no intention of looking after you when you get old. You are not seeing our children either. As a matter of fact, it would be preferable if you did not interact with Ken anymore either. Please, Susan, listen to me. You've got me all wrong. Can't you just give me a little time to explain myself? No, I don't want to hear it. There is nothing more for us to talk about. Just forget about us. Make like we never existed. Goodbye.
Mom, what the hell are you up to? Susan just got out of the hospital and was finally able to relax. I wish you wouldn't upset her like that. She needs to rest.
I have no idea why she's so angry at me. All I did was send her some gifts and a little money. I think she just put a block on me. I tried contacting her, but there's no response.
I told you not to interfere with her life. She's real sensitive about all that. You do remember me talking about that, right? Did you really have to send that gift? Just leave us be, Mom. Actually, she thinks it's some kind of ploy. I'm starting to think so too.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Come on, Mom. Don't sound so innocent. So, Susan was right about this all along. There was $5,000 in that envelope. What is it that you really want from us, Mom? Don't tell me you're trying to buy our son from us, are you, Mom? Because no way that's happening. Or do you want us to feel duty-bound to you and worm your way into living with us? That's it, isn't it? Did you really think that $5,000 would buy you a grandson and a home to live in and eventually us taking care of you? We can see right through your scheme, Mom.
Ken, how can you even say or think that about your own mother? I've been very patient for the past few years, but what you're saying is absolutely irrational. Please explain it to me from the very start. I just can't wrap my head around why you two are acting the way you are.
Yeah, okay. You may be right. This may be a good time as any to explain things to you. Also, I want you to know what I've been holding back for God knows how long. It all boils down to me being brought up by a single parent.
Excuse me?
I grew up without a father. My childhood growing up was a depressing time for me. Did you even know that? We grew up poor too, and that sure wasn't easy. I was so ashamed of not having a father. I was bullied constantly at school about that. I had a tough time growing up, and it was all your fault. Even after I left home, you insisted that I support you financially. Although it wasn't much, it was your way of manipulating me, never giving me the freedom I craved. And what do you do after I get married? You worm your way into my family and start snooping around and trying to control us. Always trying to manipulate things your way. It always has to be your way. Susan's parents never try to interfere in our affairs. At all.
Ken, am I hearing you right? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can't stand being manipulated by you. No more. This ends here. I don't consider you my mother. You never did anything that would merit such a title. I would much rather that we cut all family ties. I consider Susan's parents as my real true family. I no longer want anything from you, and I don't plan on supporting or interacting with you ever again. That also means we won't allow you to see our son. Have a good time living at the old folks alone and with nobody to take care of you. I hope you'll think long and hard about how you treated me all these years. Don't ever, and I mean ever, interfere in our lives again.
I understand. I had no idea you felt that way about me. Because I brought you up as a single parent, you no longer consider me your mother and you want to cut all ties with me? You feel I sent you a gift and money for the sole purpose of tricking you into supporting me in my final years? Is that it? That's why you've been acting this way?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So don't ever show your face in our home again. You got that?
I hear you loud and clear, Ken. If that's the case, would you vacate the place you're living in now then?
Huh? Say again? Why will we do that? Are you talking about the apartment we're living in right now? This place?
That's right. If you insist that you don't want my support or anything to do with me, I want you out of that apartment ASAP.
Like I said, why would I do that? Are you crazy? I've been living in this apartment since I was in college. I've always lived here. You have no right to kick me out of here.
That's where you're wrong, Ken. That apartment you guys are living in, I own that apartment.
Excuse me? You own this apartment?
That's right. I bought it about 10 years ago. The whole place belongs to me. You can check if you like.
No way. That's not true. You're making that crap up.
It's true. I can show you the deed. Because I own the place, you guys are able to live there for half the usual rent. When you started living alone after entering college, it was me who found you that apartment. You do remember that, don't you?
Yeah, I remember, but you never told me you were the owner. That can't be right. How could that be? Where do you even get that kind of money?
Where? I worked for it, that's where. Although the company isn't that big, I am the president of a small apparel company. I do have a bit of income.
What? The owner? The president of a clothing company? That's a barefaced lie. How could you, my mother, own an apartment, much less be the president of a clothing firm? Come on, Mom. Don't give me that crock. Anyways, we've been poor all our lives. You were always working, always tight-fisted, money conscious about everything. You always had the neighbor babysit me and Caroline growing up, for God's sakes.
What neighbor? Oh, you mean Mrs. Lopez? The one who used to come over when you were kids? She wasn't a neighbor. She was a housekeeper I had hired.
Huh? A housekeeper?
Yes, that was when you were just kids. It was about a year after your father passed away. The apparel company that I had established was in full swing. I hired Mrs. Lopez to take care of the house chores and babysit you guys. The neighbor you're talking about? You must mean Mrs. Lopez.
Are you for real, Mom? You hired a housekeeper? We weren't that well off that we could hire a housekeeper.
Why did you even think we were poor? I never considered us poor. I never put you through hardship while growing up. Did you ever not have enough to eat or have the proper clothes when needed? I provided all that to you. And you don't remember all the trips we went on. How about those weekend trips to the amusement park or the zoo? Don't tell me you forgot all that. I made sure you went to the best schools, the schools you wanted to go to. That private school you went to, all your uniforms or whatnot were brand new. No hand-me-downs. You were able to pursue any sport or hobby you wanted. And what about college? Who do you think paid your tuition? You didn't have a scholarship to fall back on. And I've never received any kind of support from you, despite what you say. As a matter of fact, it was me that supported you. When did I ever take from you?
Huh? Well, I was just... Ever since Susan learned that I grew up in a single-parent home, well, she said that it must have been hard living in poverty and not having a father. Always being manipulated by my mother, she felt sorry for me. She'd always repeated this and sympathizing with me. That's when I started to realize that I was brought up poor. At least that's what I thought. I'm not sure what to think anymore.
It seems Susan got it in her head that a single parent means being poor. You never experienced a normal family like Susan had, so you believed everything she said. I was wondering why you suddenly had this fierce animosity toward me. Now I get the whole picture.
Mom, I'm really sorry. It was just that, now that you mention it, you did pay my college tuition. And you sent me an adequate allowance on a regular basis. I never had any money problems. As a matter of fact, I was living better than most of my friends. But like an idiot, I forgot about all that. I was such a jerk to believe that crap. Please forgive me, Mom.
There is no need to apologize. As a matter of fact, I feel relieved now that I know the real reason why you and Susan were acting this way toward me.
Mom, thanks for understanding.
Let's get back to what we were talking about the apartment. From next month, I'm going to ask that you pay the normal rent just like everyone else there.
Huh? Wait, what? But why?
Why? You don't need my help anymore, right? If you want to continue living there, well, just pay the usual rent. That's all I'm asking. If you can't do that, you're just going to have to move out.
Wait a second, Mom. I just finished explaining everything to you. So why? It was all just one big mistake. So let's just get back to how it's always been. I apologized, didn't I? You said you were relieved, for Pete's sake.
I was just relieved to hear the reason you were mean. That has nothing to do with the apartment. After you said all those awful things to me, that you didn't think of me as your mother, that you wanted to cut all ties with me. Oh, and you were embarrassed that you grew up without a father, and that was my fault. Remember saying that? Then you do a flip-flop and say you're sorry and everything is back to square one. I'm sorry, but that sounds way too disrespectful. It just doesn't fly, Ken.
Yeah, but I explained all that.
Words are like bullets, Ken. They can injure people. There is no reversing it. My patience has reached its limit, and as you wish, I will cut all ties with you. No more support from me going forward, just so you know. And when the time comes, I plan to leave everything, the company, home, and that apartment you're living in, right now, to Carolyn and her family. And about taking care of me in my senior years. I already arranged everything in that regard, so no worries there. You don't have to return all the money I sent you during college or that money I sent you last week for the baby.
Wait, Mom, please. You can't do this to us. Apartment rent. We just had a kid, for God's sakes. We can't afford to pay more for rent, much less move out.
What are you saying? Where'd that aggressive attitude go? You were all set on going in on your own. You didn't want my help.
Please, Mom, forgive me. I was totally out of line. You can't do this to us.
I am sorry, son. I already made up my mind. Talk the rest over with your wife. Hello, Mother. This is Susan, your daughter-in-law. I'm so sorry for all the trouble we've caused. Ken explained everything to me. I had this negative perception of you. A total skewered viewpoint, to say the least. I was so rude to you. How can I ever make amends for how I treated you? The past years must have been hell for you. Please forgive me. Hello, Susan. Thanks for contacting me. I know you're very busy with your son and all, but there is no need for you to apologize. Think nothing of it. You must be drained after your stay in the hospital. You should get plenty of rest, so calm down. I will not be interfering in your affairs any longer. Rest assured. Please, don't say that. I know this is asking a lot, but please give us one more chance. I'll go over there and apologize in person. Let me explain everything to you. That it was all just a simple misunderstanding. I'll bring your grandson with me too. You do want to meet your grandson, right? Please, I'd rather you didn't. I'd prefer it that we not interact. I haven't seen you for 3 years. Not since the wedding. I don't even recall what you look like. I'm not in the mood to meet people I don't know very well. It's just stressful for older folks. And about bringing your baby, I really must decline. Pardon me? You don't want to see your grandson? If you cut ties with us, that means you won't be able to see your grandson forever. Well, I've got 4 grandkids right next door at my daughter Caroline's place, so I think I'll be fine. Besides, that's your child, right? You said he was not my grandson. You did say that, right? Yes, I did say that, but that was because... Also, using your child as a pawn to lure a poor grandmother in? Kind of despicable, wouldn't you say? That really was not my intention. I'm really guilt-ridden over all this. Ashamed that I even acted that way. And about the clothes and money you sent as a gift, I know it's kinda late, but I really appreciate your thoughtfulness. I'm sorry about the baby clothes. Oh, the baby clothes I sent. Yes, those. You threw those cheap things out, right? I must thank you. Those baby clothes were made at my company. I already reprimanded the staff for their shoddy workmanship. Wait, that was made at your company? Yes, it must have been embarrassing for you to receive such substandard baby clothes. My daughter loved them, so I figured you would too. I'm to blame. Please accept my apologies. No, please don't say that. They weren't cheap at all. They were wonderful, the perfect gift. Please, I don't know what to say. All I can do is apologize. Ever since I was a child, I watched my mother get bullied by my grandmother. I was not treated all that well by her either. Always being reprimanded for one thing or another. Once I got married, I thought I would be treated the same way. Maybe even have my child taken from me. I was just so scared. I just wanted to protect my family. I was adamant about not getting pulled into that kind of situation again. I understand what you went through and that your grandmother was an awful person. We all encounter such people in our lives. But I'm not the same person as your grandmother. Not a mother-in-law or some such label you prefer to apply, but a human being. It's very emotionally distressing to be treated in such a way without knowing the reason why. It leaves a person traumatized. Please forgive me. I did say those things without even knowing you at all. It's an unforgivable thing I did to you. My perspective was totally skewered. I beg your forgiveness. There is no need to apologize any further. I also would prefer that you not visit and apologize in person. I'm also worried about your health after what you went through. I need to get things sorted out. Let's just keep things as it is for the time being, and maybe we'll talk after a while. Yes, I understand. Okay, then take care of yourself, Susan. I received a letter from Susan soon after. She repeated her apologies and explained why she acted the way she did. I was even paid a visit by her parents, whom I had never actually met, apologizing on her behalf. After a while, I relented to her constant apologies and felt she was sincere, and we came to a mutual understanding. But it was Ken that would not give up. He was set on trying to get me to financially support him, that he resorted to coming over late at night and trying to persuade me to change my mind. He even resorted to practically kidnapping his child from Susan and driving over 2 hours to our home in an attempt to curry favor with me. He even turned on his wife, blaming her for turning on his mother in the first place. In the end, it was Ken that caused trouble for both Susan and myself. But on his last attempt at trying to persuade me, Susan stopped him and severely reprimanded him for his ways. She was eventually able to get him to see the light, but the whole incident caused Susan to contemplate divorce. And after a few years, that's exactly what happened. Ken is currently living alone somewhere, with no rights to see his child, only burdened with child support payments. Susan was wrong in having such a negative perspective of me, but she paid the price for that and made amends for her mistake. It was Ken that was the problem. His emotions took over and he was not able to stop until he got his way, which eventually led to his demise. As for my relationship with Susan, we maintained a cordial relationship through the years and even exchanged Christmas cards and birthday greetings every year. Recently, we got together for my grandson's birthday party. I think we've started an amiable relationship. I actually enjoy her company.
Hey there, is this Renee, the woman engaged to a man named Frank? Who is this? I bet that right now you're starting to get concerned that your groom hasn't shown up for your wedding yet, am I right? You don't need to answer, I'm totally right. If you don't tell me who you are, I'm just going to block your number. So you have about 10 seconds to do that before I just dismiss you as some troll. Someone's grumpy. I'm Millie. I'm a 19-year-old college student, and today I'm going to become the luckiest girl in the world when I get married to Frank. What? What do you mean? Is this a prank? Oh, I know what you're thinking. But I'm the one who's marrying Frank today. But too bad for you. Frank and I have been seeing each other for 6 months now. And today we're finally going to get married. We're having a private ceremony for just the two of us where we'll pledge our endless love for one another. In other words, he's not going to come to your ceremony, so don't bother waiting for him. Now, I bet you're just about to start crying bitter tears of anger, jealousy, and sadness over this, so I recommend you go ahead and tell all your guests to go home before things start getting really ugly. Millie? Are you the Millie who started working part-time at our company this year? Yep, that's me. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know the situation. What's with that reaction? Were you expecting something else? Oh, I think I get it. You knew this was coming, didn't you? You had already resigned to the fact that Frank would end up leaving you eventually anyway, huh? That's probably for the best. You're nowhere near good enough for him. After all, you're a 41-year-old woman who's never been married. You have to know that no man would ever really want you. Aw, it's gonna be really hard for you to find a husband at your age, huh? I almost feel bad for you. Almost, but not quite. Sorry I'm such a bad girl and took your fiancé from you, but really, think about it. I think I speak for everyone in the world when I say this, but who the hell would want to go to some old hag's wedding? Gross! I bet your fat rolls are pouring out of your white dress. And at your age, there is no way you would ever be able to have kids. I could go on, but I think I've said enough for now. It's clear that Frank will be way happier with a 19-year-old college girl like me than a dried-up old hag like you. I'm 19, you're 41. The choice is clear. It's like, what would you rather have? A fresh-baked loaf of bread or one that's been getting moldy beneath the fridge for 41 years? Oh, and in this analogy, you're the moldy bread.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to me, or are you finished?
What's the matter? You starting to tear up now?
I have some business to attend to, and I was just about to step outside. Thanks to you, that business just increased tenfold, so if it's all right with you, we can go ahead and end this conversation here, and I'll go on about my day.
What are you talking about? Oh, I see. Now you've got to go tell everyone waiting for you in the chapel that your fiancé left you standing at the altar because you're a dried-up old granny.
No, that's not it.
Oh, you mean no one was actually in the chapel anyway? It's like I said, who would want to see your cellulite-ridden carcass wearing a strapless dress? They'd lose their lunch for sure. Okay, well, I'll let you go and drink your sorrows away. Have a good time. As for me, I'm gonna go and exchange wedding vows with my hubby-to-be, Frank. Wedded bliss, here I come. So long, Granny. Don't forget to take your Alzheimer's meds today. How goes the wine binge, you lonely old hag?
I have a name, and it's Renee. Use it. If you're 19, then you're old enough to know what is and is not an acceptable way to speak to someone. Frank's mother, your future mother-in-law, will no doubt be on your case constantly about how you speak around her. And if you're really intent on marrying him, I think you'd better prepare yourself mentally right now for what you're about to get yourself into.
You're unreal. What are you doing here, trying to prove to me that you know Frank better than me? That you love him more than me? Well, I'm really sorry to break this to you. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. But I have a very, very important announcement to make. Would you like to hear it? Would you?
I'm very busy, so make it quick.
Just a few minutes ago, Frank and I were officially joined in the bonds of holy matrimony. We're married.
Wow. Already?
Yeah, already. Do you see now? That's how much Frank and I are in love with each other. Being married at 19 is the best. None of my friends are married. They're all going to be super jealous when I tell them. Plus, that's definitely going to put me ahead socially with the other girls on campus. I can just be like, step aside, girlfriend. I've got a husband.
I can only hope that it goes that well for you.
Please, keep it coming. Keep it coming. I want to take in all of your bitter jealousy. Oh, and guess what else? I'm going to move into Frank's awesome high-rise condo tonight.
Ah, I see. So that's what you were after. Frank's 38, just 3 years apart from me, but we're both more than twice your age. I was curious what on earth you would possibly see in him, but everything makes sense now.
Like I said, Granny, just keep it coming. I can taste the bitterness in each and every one of your texts.
I think you ought to know, however, that the condo Frank lives in actually belongs to your father-in-law.
Oh, really? Huh, that's weird. But whatever. I don't care whose name is on the title as long as I get to enjoy my lovey-dovey time with my new hubby, Frank.
Wow. You're something else, Millie. Not many people would willingly march straight into the gates of hell like you're doing right now. I commend your bravery.
Huh? What do you mean, the gates of hell?
But hey, if you're happy with that, then more power to you.
Hold on, what are you talking about? You're kind of freaking me out now.
Best of luck in your married life. You'll need it.
Boy, that was a whole lot of nothing. What were you acting so weird for anyway? His condo was totally normal. Frank and I had a wonderful first night as man and wife. I guess you were just trying to scare me or something. What a loser. You are so super jealous that I get Frank and you get to die alone. Now I know that I was concerned about nothing, so you can't bother me anymore. So seriously, can you grow up and move on? I know you're probably never going to completely get over it, but I don't want you to be constantly trying to interfere with our marriage. Got it? You're going to have to face facts eventually, so you might as well do it now. You are never going to have Frank. It is never going to happen. You read me? Never. Never. It is over. Okay, I'm going to go back and do a little more smooching with Frankie now. Toodles! Oh my God, being a bride at 19 is the best thing I've ever done, like bar none. I just announced on Instagram that I got married and started my life in a high-rise condo, and I am getting swarmed with likes. My phone is totally blowing up with notifications. All the other girls are super jealous of me. You should look up my Instagram account. Do you want me to tell you my username? I've got a ton of adorable pictures of me in my wedding dress. I look fantastic. It'll show you what you could have had if you were young and beautiful like me and not old and dried up like you. Renee, what is going on here? I have no idea. You tell me. Frank's parents just got here. Frank's mom came right up to him and gave him a huge kiss on the cheek and called him her little Frankie poo. I thought that was gross, but then Frank called his mom Mommy. He actually called her Mommy. Oh. And then it gets worse. Frank said that his parents are going to live together with us starting today. But that's not even all. Frank and his mom are going to sleep together in the bedroom, and I'm going to have to sleep on the living room couch. I've heard of mama's boys, but what the hell? Frank is 38. Let me guess. Frank's dad just looks at the two of them being an absolute gross fest, shakes his head, laughs, and pretends it's just some cute mother-son affection, right? Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. And why didn't he tell me anything about his parents living with us? Well, if you don't like the situation, you could always divorce him. Don't be stupid. I can't divorce him. I just announced to my Instagram followers that I got married yesterday. I'm not going to be a divorced woman at 19. You don't want to spend your youthful years getting nauseous at the sight of that giant mama's boy living out an Oedipus complex, do you? But if I get divorced, my social value as a woman is going to plummet. Well, you know your options. The choice is up to you. And don't say I didn't warn you. I told you that you were marching straight towards the gates of hell, didn't I? Well, I told you that the condo Frank lives in is actually your father-in-law's. His parents run a pretty big real estate company, and thanks to them, Frank is able to live in condos and apartments that would ordinarily be way, way too far above his means. You knew about that? And it was precisely the mother-son relationship that's making you sick to your stomach right now that got me to break off our engagement 2 weeks ago. Wait, what? You broke off your engagement 2 weeks ago? Yep, 2 weeks ago. We both joined our company at roughly the same time around 20 years ago. So we worked together on a lot of projects, and eventually he asked me out on a date. His work was pretty good, and he seemed like a trustworthy guy, so I agreed, and we started dating. But then one fateful day, I was unfortunate enough to witness exactly how close his relationship with his mother was when I walked into the condo unexpectedly, and, well, after that, I just could never look at him the same way again. Wow. When I very honestly told him and his mother exactly how I felt about their relationship and why I was breaking off the engagement, his mother lost it. She told me that she had chosen me, an older woman, to care for him just like she always did. And she chose you, Millie, to fulfill his desires since you were younger and prettier than me. The last thing she ever said to me was, Fine. I knew you would never be enough to give him what he really needs, me. And if you're not going to look after him for me, then I'll just have to take care of Frank myself. Oh, and by the way, it was that little slip-up by her that made me aware of your relationship with Frank, so you have his mother to thank for that, too. Oh, no. And that was my first reason for breaking off the engagement, his disgusting relationship with his mother. So, wait, what happened to your wedding yesterday? What wedding? We canceled it a long time ago, obviously. But didn't you say that you had a lot more work to do because of me? I thought you meant that you had a lot of work to do to cancel the wedding. You know, call the venue, the caterer, the band, all that stuff. No, that's not what I meant at all. I was just so appalled that my ex-fiance's mistress would so brazenly announce herself to me like you did that I decided to move up the timeline of the punishment I was planning for you. I had to get a last-minute appointment with my lawyer. I was lucky he was free that morning. What do you need a lawyer for? Which brings me to the second reason I broke off the engagement. As I told you a short while ago, I was aware that you had some sort of relationship with my ex-fiance for some time before you texted me to rub your marriage to Frank in my face. What I didn't know was that your relationship had been going on for as much as 6 months, and that it was going on behind my back while we were engaged. In other words, that you were actually having an affair. Yeah, well, so what? I had been trying to get some hard evidence of exactly how long your relationship had been going on and how far you had gone because I couldn't move forward without it. But thanks to you, I now have all the evidence I could have ever hoped for. I'm going to sue the two of you for your affair. You can't sue me. You weren't even married yet. That's not an affair. Actually, as being engaged is, in legal terms, a contract, you could say that it's a form of tortious interference. But yes, I can sue you. My lawyer hasn't calculated the final amount yet, but you should prepare yourself to be hit for something in the realm of the low 5-digit range. What? You can't do this to me! You have only yourself to blame for getting involved with an engaged man. I think the paperwork should be ready within the next few days, so you'll be hearing from my lawyer shortly. I do recommend you do exactly as he says. Fighting this will only make matters worse for you. This can't be happening. I don't have that kind of money. I'm still in college. Millie's parents had divorced and were both remarried to different people, and they had effectively cut Millie out of their lives. Ultimately, Frank's parents had to foot the bill for both my lawsuit against him and the one against Millie. With nowhere else to turn, Millie had no choice but to accept her new position in life, living together in that condo with Frank and his parents. However, one day it seems that Frank's father finally had enough of being a third wheel for his wife and son and told his family that he wanted a divorce. And since the condo was in his name, his wife and son had no say in the matter, so he promptly kicked them all out onto the curb. At the same time, Frank, who was enjoying his life married to a woman half his age, made a massive mistake on a project that cost the company millions of dollars. This led to the discovery of years of malfeasance from him, so he was unceremoniously fired. So now we find Millie in the situation of dealing with her psychotic mother-in-law and newly unemployed husband, who is also 20 years her senior. Frank was facing criminal charges for his malfeasance at his old job, so his employment prospects were less than zero. His mother was far too busy waiting on him hand and foot to even think about getting a job herself. In the end, Millie had to drop out of college and get multiple part-time jobs in order to support the three of them.
Good morning, Melanie. I just arrived to your hospital room. I don't see you around. I brought a change of clothes. Everything okay? Is there something you want me to take back home with me? Like laundry or something?
Oh, hey, Mom. Yeah, actually there is. There's a bunch of laundry in the closet near the door. Get those washed, would you?
All right, no problem. Oh, and Melanie, there's one more thing.
Yeah? What is it?
You and the baby are scheduled to come home the day after tomorrow, right?
Yes, that's right. Why do you ask?
Well, I suddenly have this urgent issue back at my parents' place, and I won't be home for a few days. So I asked my son to take the afternoon off the day after tomorrow to pick you up by cab. Hope that's okay.
Oh, yeah? Okay, so Rob is gonna pick me up, huh? No problemo.
No problemo? Oh, yes, I get it. I really feel awful about it.
No worries, I'll be fine. Actually, I'm sort of thankful.
Excuse me?
Never mind. Hey, Mom. Weren't you supposed to be back from your folks' place about now?
Yes, that's right. I should be home in about an hour or so.
Oh, yeah? You don't have to come home.
Oh, wait, pardon me?
After your husband died, your son Rob and I live in the main house. And you live in the attached cottage out back, right?
Yes, that's right. What about it? Since I'm alone, I prefer the smaller house. Less to clean, it's actually quite comfortable. Although we live on the same property, we made it a rule that we would not interfere with each other's lives.
I see. Then it's decided. Please vacate that cottage, please.
Excuse me? But why do you say that?
Seems obvious, right? After your husband passed away, the house was handed down to Rob, who's your only son. So I figured, since I am Rob's wife, I have the authority to determine who lives here and who doesn't. Makes perfect sense, right? And what's more, I just gave birth to a healthy young boy who will next take over this property someday. So, simply put, I surpassed you as the authority figure here. I make the decision about this family and this property.
You're not making much sense, Melanie.
If you can't understand, I can explain it to you again. If you like, I got all the time in the world. Oh, and that little cottage you're living in now? Once you're out, my folks will move in, so I'd appreciate it if you get your stuff out of there ASAP. Thanks.
I really wish you would stop making all the decisions like I didn't even exist.
Considering that it would be hard bringing up a kid, it would be way easier for me to ask my folks rather than my mother-in-law, who I hardly know. Don't you agree? Don't you agree that a stress-free environment is important for bringing up a child? For both mother and child?
So, you feel that my presence is stressful. Is that what you're trying to say?
Please, Mom, don't get me wrong. It's not just about you. I just grew up thinking that, that all in-laws are supposed to be a little, cruel and nasty.
Does Rob feel the same way as you?
I haven't asked him, but I'm sure he feels exactly the same. But I can't be persuaded to change my mind. If I can get $10,000 a month as support payment, my mind can be easily swayed.
Pardon me, $10,000?
Obviously, you can't pay such a fortune, so I want you out of the cottage by the end of the day.
Even if I was to leave, I still have a lot of stuff in the house. I need a few days.
I bet you're just saying that, and then you're gonna squat there forever.
I have other accommodations, so that won't be necessary.
Are you sure about that?
I remember when you first moved in, Melanie. Those huge cardboard boxes? How did you even get those boxes to the house? I've always wondered about that. You know perfectly well how hard it is to move. It's not as easy as packing a bag and saying goodbye.
Yeah, but I really doubt you have somewhere else to live, but again, that's your problem. Okay then, I'll give you until Sunday to move out. That should be more than enough time. If you're even a day late in moving out, we cut family ties and you'll never see your grandchild ever again. You're out of the house, like it or not. Just keep that in mind.
Cut family ties, huh? I may be saying that to you sooner rather than later.
Yeah, whatever.
Judith, is this true? Did you really move out of your own place?
Good morning, Rob. Please, no need to worry about me. I'm fine. As you all know, I have other accommodations.
But it seems unfair. This is your home.
Yes, it is. By the sound of it, apparently Melanie hasn't mentioned anything.
Melanie, did she say something to you?
Yes, it was Melanie who told me to get out of the house. She seemed pretty adamant about it too.
Are you joking? She told you to leave your own home. Why?
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this to you before, but I just want to make sure. She knows that we're not related, no blood ties, and that I haven't officially registered you as my child. She knows this, right?
Yeah, I told her that before we even got married. She thought it was weird at first when I kept calling you Judith, but when she asked me about that, I told her that my dad brought me up as a single parent, and that you and Dad got married after I finished school and was already working. I also explained that since I was already an adult, I wasn't really necessary to do all the paperwork for adoption.
That's what I wanted to verify. Thanks.
Do you have any evidence that Melanie demanded that you leave?
Yes, she contacted me online. So the whole conversation should be there word for word.
I'd appreciate it if you could send me the entire conversation. I want to get a grasp of the whole situation.
Okay, I can do that. I'll send it later.
Oh, and one more thing. Now that you moved out, I don't see how we can go on living here any longer. The only problem is that Melanie just got out of the hospital and is still pretty weak and needs rest. As you know, the baby is tiny. We really shouldn't be taking our son outside for now. Would you mind waiting 3 or so months until we're ready to move? I'd really appreciate it.
Of course, Rob. How can I say no?
Thank you so much, Judith, and I'm really sorry about all this. And I appreciate your considerateness.
No need to apologize. I just hope things work out for you two. Or should I say 3?
Hey, pick up, would you? This is my first time hearing about this. What's going on?
Oh, hello, Melanie. It's been a while. How are you?
Let's cut the niceties, shall we? Why the hell do we have to move out? You're the one who was supposed to get the hell out of here. I finally scheduled it so that my folks would move in. As a matter of fact, they just terminated their apartment lease and packed their stuff. What the hell is going on? What have you done?
I'm sure you heard everything from Rob. He told you that the owner of the house is me.
That can't be right. When a father dies, the son takes over as heir. Rob's the only son. The house obviously goes to him. What are you, delusional? And you have to pay all kinds of taxes too, like property and state taxes. You're just a housewife. You would never be able to pay that.
Oh, I see now. That's where all misunderstandings come from.
A misunderstanding? What are you talking about?
For starters, I'm not a housewife. Actually, I'm an investor.
Wait, excuse me? An investor?
I'm not only investing in stocks, but also have considerable real estate assets too. And that house you guys are living in right now? I bought that house years ago, which is also in my name.
Wait a sec. Am I hearing you right?
My husband's office was not far away, so when we married, we moved in here. It was just more convenient. After a few years, Rob got transferred to this area, so he moved in with us. The place is pretty big, so 3 adults wasn't a problem, and we had the cottage out back. We lived a nice, peaceful existence for years, before you arrived.
So, does that mean that the house will not be Rob's for the foreseeable future?
That's where you got your wires crossed again, Melanie. About any inheritance, we decided long ago that when my sister's child turns 30, she would inherit the house. We decided that years ago, and Rob's father was well aware of it, as Rob is. I'm surprised he didn't tell you.
Are you for real? That doesn't make sense.
Even if Rob is not your real child, he is nevertheless your son. You can't deny that. He has rights too. Being your son, he has way more rights and priority than some niece or nephew. I never officially adopted him as my son. Therefore, there is no inheritance involved. Although he may be perceived as my son. I don't want to sound crude, but he is actually a stranger. Wait a second. So, does that mean, no matter what I do, this house will never be mine? That seems to be the case. You can't do this! No way! I won't let you do this! I already talked to Rob about all this. I'm bewildered by your reaction. I thought it was all resolved. This wasn't how it was supposed to end! We were supposed to get the house. My folks were supposed to. Am I hearing you right? Was that your intention? To somehow outright own that house? Is this what it's all about? Yeah, so what? I have no say in what you two are going to do going forward. That's for you and Rob to decide. Excuse me? I decided to move out and live at my summer home near the ocean. As for that house, I'm going to put it up for rent in the near future. Once I get the schedule figured out, I'll send you the date I will need you to move out. I would appreciate it if you get all your things packed and ready to move out by then. How did it turn out this way? What's going on? Can you at least give us that summer home? Hello, Mom. It's been a while. How have you been? Is that you, Melanie? What do you want? I hope it's not about extending your stay. I already have that place on the market. Besides, I thought we made it clear that we have to cut all ties. Cut ties? Why would we do that? Can't you see me and your grandson right outside your window on your front doorstep? Come on, Mom. Open up the front door and let us in. Pardon me? What are you talking about? Which front doorstep? Are you even at the right house? I'm looking outside the door, but I don't see anybody. You're not fooling me one bit with that kind of play acting, Mom. I did a little checking up on you, like where you moved. Pardon me? You checked up on me? Remember a few months back? You were talking about moving to your summer house back east, near the ocean. Now that has to be the ritzy area near Hamilton Beach, right? I did a thorough check on that place. I checked every address around the area and finally tracked you down. Hamilton Beach? I don't live in Hamilton Beach. Where'd you get that idea? Huh? Oh, wait, what? There are plenty of other areas that have wonderful beach resorts all up and down the East Coast. I never said I had a summer home in the Hamilton Beach area. But your name's right here on the mailbox. That's how I tracked you down. My last name is pretty common. I read somewhere that it's one of the top 10 names in the US. I bet there are dozens of people in that area with my first and last name. You're kidding me, right? You're not pulling a fast one on me now, are you?
Now, why would I do that? I have no reason to lie to you. If you're making a scene in front of some stranger's house, I suggest you leave before they call the police. That was a close call. I talked my way out of it. I said I was lost. That guy was about to call the cops on me. So, Melanie, what's this all about? Pardon me? Why did you come all the way out east to find me? Were you just curious to see where I lived? Well, I figured, you're not getting any younger. Maybe you wanted us to live with you. I mean, with your grandson and all. Live with me? You want to move in with me? Yeah, your husband's passed, living all alone. Figured you'd want some company. I really don't need a total stranger to be concerned about my well-being. But you're living alone and... I didn't mention this before, but I plan on living with my other son. My real son and his family. You have a son? You mean... Yes. We're planning on constructing a 2-family home not far from here. We'll live separately, but live on the same property. Kind of like the arrangement we had before, but more spacious. Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about Rob and his family. Family being me and your grandson. Why didn't Rob tell me? What a relief. But if that's your plan, I would appreciate it if you could maybe stay at that nice little summer home and have my folks move into this new house. Now that would be the best outcome possible. There you go again, Melanie, always coming to hasty conclusions. I said my real son. I wasn't talking about Rob. Not Rob. Wait a sec, what? I have a 28-year-old son from a previous marriage. I suppose that makes him Rob's younger stepbrother. I talked to Rob about this already. I told him I was going to live with my real son and his family. Oh, and they have a 2-year-old daughter. You already have a grandchild? Didn't I tell you this before? I thought I did. Did you? I don't recall. Oh, and didn't Rob file for divorce? Who told you? I don't live with Rob anymore, as you know, but I do keep in touch with him. Despite what you think, Rob and I are on good terms. We've always seen eye to eye. The reason he filed for divorce is mainly because of your infidelity. When did you find out about... I know a lot more than you think, Melanie. Including the fact that the child you gave birth to was not Rob's at all. Rob confided in me that he has no idea who the father is. The DNA test proves it's not his. When did you talk to him about... No use trying to deny it, Melanie. He told me everything. But there must be something. I better get going. I'm having some friends over this afternoon. Please, Mom, Judith, please. I have nowhere to live. Goodbye forever, Melanie. Please, Mom. I later learned that she came looking for my summer home in Hamilton Beach area with her parents in tow. It seems the 4 of them were left with nowhere to live. I guess they figured that if they rushed to my home in Hampton Beach, which is not where I live, somehow they would be able to move in, at least for a while. I think their intention was to somehow kick me out and take over the house. Why they thought that, I have no idea. As a result of their misguided pipe dream, they were left homeless. They were lucky they had their grandchild with them because a nearby relative took pity on them and put them up for a few nights. But word spread of their antics among the relatives, and eventually, sad to say, the child was put up for adoption. I hear they worked out some deal with a relative who owns a ranch out in Montana. They were allowed to live in a converted barn for the foreseeable future. It's apparently a pretty hard life on a farm. But evidently, they are trying to make ends meet as best they can.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.